It's Rock 30, Bill and Jay's excellent podcast, with your hosts, Billy Quinton and Jay Odom. Our special guest this evening is Codi Chinn. Let's roll.
Want to welcome everybody to Rock 30. I'm Billy Quinton.
I am Jay Odom.
And this is episode number 33 overall, season 3, episode 2. And again, Jay, that we're in season 3 is just a shock to me, is watching how this thing is being put together with baling wire and chewing gum. But we're here. We're doing it.
They didn't really renew us. We just
showed up.
we weren't renewed.
We just showed up, and people don't have the guts to say, don't do it. So we just do it again. So here we go. But we are very excited to have a special guest here. We have Codi Chinn from Fate City Council.
Absolutely.
And if you have followed anything about local politics, you understand probably why Codi is with us and what we're going to talk about. And it's basically the biggest political story, I think, right now in the area.
I hadn't heard of any of this until you said you were going to have her on yesterday. So I'm
right. Yeah. That was me.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm always just grabbing some other athlete that's going to show up, and Jay's the one that's out there getting all the real people.
Matters.
Yeah. It does, and this is going to be really good. If only our pre-talk, our interview talk before the podcast is as good as the podcast, because that was better than what we'll ever do here.
It always happens. You start talking, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We got to do the podcast.
Yeah. So it's up to you, Codi, if this is good.
It's really good to have you here. I want to tell you, thank you for coming here. Yeah. I know you're under fire in a lot of ways, and I know it takes you got to be brave to do this kind of stuff, and you're not hiding, and I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Thank you for both having me on.
Absolutely. So you've been a member of City Council since 2024.
Yes.
So second season is what you're on. Your tenures included involvement in local school advocacy.
Yes.
And more recently, political dispute that led to a recall effort in 2026, which is
now.
Right now. That's what we're going to talk about here.
Right.
So anyway, I kind of wanted to, we all know a lot of things about you, what you posted, all that kind of stuff, but I don't think we know who you are. So let's go on back. Let's go.
Every guest, we ask them about their, past life.
So as far as
what your spirit animal is, all that stuff. Who's your favorite Golden Girls? All those really important things.
Obviously, Dorothy.
That's yours.
That's mine. Yeah.
Who's the one from Minnesota?
That's Rose.
I like Rose.
And I'm embarrassed to know that I know that much about the Golden Girls. It's embarrassing. But I can give you all the facts. In fact, let's just go ahead and dedicate the rest of this show to Golden Girls talk. No, but yeah, we're very excited to have Codi here. But as we do with every guest, we want to hear their background, all that kind of stuff. So, Jay, I'll hand it over to you to get personal with Codi and see if we can get her to cry.
Where were you? I don't know if you cry.
No, I do. I've had more.
We almost had a Navy SEAL cry. That was really close, but we didn't get it.
I think that was just because he had to sit here.
Right. He was very beaten down. Yeah. Good point.
So where were you born?
I was born in Longview, Texas, actually, when Longview was still Longview. Mm-hmm. Still very small. So.
What'd your parents do?
My dad worked for Southwestern Bell back when it was Southwestern Bell for 30 some odd years. And actually, my mom, oddly enough, worked for the school district. So when we moved from Longview to the Dallas area, she worked for Mesquite ISD.
So that brought you to Mesquite. Yep.
So how long did you live in Longview?
Until second grade. So,
okay.
And that's where all of my family was. They were out Gilmer, Pittsburgh area. So all of my roots are East Texas. My husband, actually, all of his family is from Longview. We never crossed paths, but turns out we're all from the same area.
Okay, so I want to say this about Longview. I do all the broadcasts for the Yellow Jackets. Okay. All right, so we go to Longview a lot. And East Texas is a different world. It's a great world. I love going to East Texas. We have to go to Longview. We have to go to Tyler all the time to do the games.
And it's beautiful out there.
It's really pretty. All the pine trees. Longview has the coolest football stadium and scene, and it's really cool. There are no nicer people in the world than Longview folks when we go out there. When you normally go to a ball game, everybody's great. Normally, they get you your booth and they get you stuff. The Longview people will, they'll come out when you pull up. Let me help you carry your stuff. We're going to take it in. We're going to do this. Now they will. They're very good in football. Very good. And they will let you know. Really yeah. And they will let us know, even though we're pretty good. And I don't know if Chinn played or whatever.
He did.
Okay.
My
so
husband actually got a full ride to University of Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For football.
Where did you go to high school? Did you?
He went to
North Texas. Okay.
UNT.
UNT. Yeah. See, that's impressive.
Yeah. What position?
He was wide receiver.
What year did you graduate?
96.
Yeah. 97. Okay. All right. So it was before I was doing the broadcast. So it'd been cool if we'd have done one again.
Yeah.
But the Longview people would tell us when we came in, we're so happy you're here. Here's some food. Here's now we're going to beat the hell out of you. But we hope you enjoy your stay. But while we're beating you, please remember that we're helping you out as much as possible. And they would and they would whip our ass
and then say,
yeah, you did great. Thanks for coming. We look forward to seeing you 2 years from now because you go every other year. So anyway, Longview has a special place because it's always a really cool place.
It just stands out in your mind.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I always like going to the games there.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of student were you? What did you have going on were you an angsty teen or?
No, I played sports. So I played basketball, I played volleyball, I played tennis even. Basically, I was just an athlete. I kind of blended.
How big is your class? Well, no, you were second grade, and then you went to Mesquite, right?
Yeah,
okay,
so
we're talking Mesquite. Yeah.
High school was huge.
Yes. Okay.
Our graduating class was around 1,000 people. So it was a pretty big graduating class.
That's big.
Yeah.
I had
We
100.
were 5A back then when they only had 5.
Right. That was the biggest class. It's 6A now.
Yeah, we were Division I, 5A, and we won state champ. We were state champs my senior year in high school. So 2001, 2002 season.
Very good. They have great history there.
Did you do any college at all after?
Yeah. I actually went to Austin. I went to Austin Community College for a little while, and then I went to hair school. And then when I met my husband and I could benefit from his GI Bill, I went back to school and went to Texas A&M Commerce.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So how'd y'all meet?
Oh gosh, that's a funny story. Can
you say this on the air?
We're Chinn giggling over here.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like church, but go ahead.
Yeah, tell the story.
Back in 2012, I was just as mouthy as I am now. And so I was on Facebook, and one of my friends that I grew up with thought it would be really funny to add me to basically an all-black political talk group because I did not like Obama. And so one of my posts was there anyone in here who didn't vote for Obama? And my husband spoke up, and literally we just started inboxing of each other. And so I joke to this day, even though I didn't like Obama brought us together.
Yeah.
So look at that.
So that's something.
That's what I was going to say. Obama always will have a special place. Yeah. Even with terrible political policies, he brought you all together. There you go. There you go.
And now to jump ahead a little bit.
But with the family real quick, I want to hear about the family.
Oh, yes.
Kids.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have 3 kids. I've got a junior at Rockwall High School. I have a 9th grader at Rock 9. And then I also have a 4th grader at Billy Stevenson.
Okay. Here's the whole crew. So,
Oh, there you are.
Yep, there we are.
where are y'all? It's beautiful.
That's Destin. One of my best friends was getting married, and she got married on the beach out there. So we got to...
Destin's cool. How long ago was that?
Oh, gosh.
Like, is it still? I remember when we go to Destin, there's that one road that just is in Destin, and it's always jammed.
Yes.
So did y'all deal with that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You couldn't go. You'd think, oh, let's just go down there and go to dinner. 2 hours later, a mile away, you're at the dinner place. Yeah.
It's a beautiful family. What's their names and ages?
So we have Caden, that's the oldest, 17. We have Kyron, who is about to be 15, and then Aria is 10.
He looks like he's going to be the cool one.
Which
The
one?
jacket.
Oh, Kyron.
Yeah.
You know,
Look at the shoes.
Oh, right down to the shoes.
it's so funny because he is the least cool out of all.
Oh, really?
Sure, he's happy to hear that now.
For sure. He knows it. He knows it. He is in wrestling, so that does give him a little bit more street cred.
There you go.
But he's he's extremely smart.
Oh, look at there.
And he wants to be a meteorologist, so he's really obsessed with tornadoes.
Oh, that's cool.
He doesn't really care about sports at all, much to his father's dismay. He could care less about
That's how it always happens. That's how it goes.
My daughter, on the other hand, she would play football if they would let her.
That's great.
She is the athlete. She was in the travel league. She made, tryouts at the travel league for Billy Stevenson. We just finished up with that, and they actually won the championship. So for their little travel league, so Billy Stevenson, they have a lot to be proud of because of the girls' team. They did really, really good this year.
So will she do flag football when that time comes around?
No, Daddy is not about to allow that.
Oh, okay.
That's not
All
going
right.
that far.
Okay. All right.
We've got a wedding picture of you two also.
Yes.
See that?
Yes. We got married on
Beautiful.
the beach in Galveston, actually. They made that picture look like the water was blue.
I was going to say, that is not the Galveston I know.
There was tons of seaweed. It stunk like dead fish.
Yes.
My hair was blown to bits, and somehow that picture turned out good.
It's great.
Did you ever hear the Charles Barkley thing about that? That he was, I forgot what it was. There was something, he does the NBA
Yeah.
post game and pre game and all that stuff. And at some point somebody brought up Galveston. He goes, don't bring up Galveston. He goes, that's the worst beach ever. He goes, there's seaweed. He goes, it's horrible. Why do people bring it up? It's ain't horrible. He goes, it's not even blue. He just went off on Galveston.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard about this new Cinnamon Shores?
No.
Okay, it's a super high end. They bring in sand.
Where is this at?
Is it Galveston? I think it's down there in Galveston.
Is it really? They got to do something.
But yeah, $1 million.
Port Aransas.
Port Aransas. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the new
Up the road.
40A. Is it 40A that everybody goes in Florida? 30A.
Okay.
It's kind of the new Texas. So they're trying to clean it
Okay.
up.
All right. Well, Port Aransas is a little bit of ways from
That's not exactly
Galveston. Yeah. But that'd be better. Galveston's a rough one.
Yeah.
It is. It's a rough one. But that's a good shot. Somebody did some serious good
They did.
photography there.
Yes, and the funny story is that we paid $600 to elope. He was active duty military at the time.
Were you Army?
Yes, he was Army.
Okay.
He was a tank commander in the Army. And so we had a 4-day weekend. It was Memorial Weekend. And so we just reached out to an online wedding place. And for $600, we got a cake and photography and a pastor.
Wow.
And we just showed up.
And you did.
And we invited friends and family, but I was like, I'm not paying for chairs, so you're going to have to stand. So we're all just kind of hanging out at the beach.
But the
getting married,
smelly fish smell was free, though, right? That was free. Okay. All right. Good. Want to make sure you don't pay for that.
Nope, that was extra.
Yeah.
What year did you get married?
2014.
Not that long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
And so
Now we got to get into the meat of it.
let's move into, okay, you're raising kids, you're enjoying life.
Yeah,
What on earth? Politics.
yeah. I asked
How,
myself
when,
that
where,
a lot.
what? Take us there.
So back in 2020, when the world was shut down, we started to pay attention a little bit more to what our kids were doing at school because they were at home and we were kind of learning what our kids were learning too. And there were some things that were, a little disturbing that we found out about. And so that brought us into 2021 when they finally let us back into schools. And I was one of those crazy parents that did not want my kids wearing a mask. And so I went before the school board, and my very first school board meeting, I was so sweet. I swear, I was just nice. I looked so professional.
I'm refusing to believe that right now.
I want to see a video.
Yeah, we got to see evidence.
Dalton, I believe, and Dalton is here with us. Sorry, I'm looking at him. They're like, who's Dalton? Dalton is here with us too, but Dalton could probably testify. I think he was probably at my first one. Not that it would have been memorable because I wasn't Codi Chinn yet, I guess. But I read my first little statement, and it was kind and it was nice. And by my third meeting, I had completely transformed into kind of, I don't know, just a little feistier. I was irritated because I didn't feel like the school board was really listening to the parents. And, we were going and we were talking about the masks and we were talking about some of the other things that were going on at the time. It was kind of trending, critical race theory, radical gender theory. And so
Was school, forgive me, I should know this. Were the school boards at that time saying we need to keep masks, even Rockwell?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we didn't.
Well, remember the U.S. government was saying
Yes.
everybody had to keep the mask on. Yeah.
Greg Abbott had at the time, he had just lifted the mask mandate. And so that was when all the parents were like, okay, Greg Abbott's changed course. We don't have to wear masks anymore. So, hey, school board, let's change our policy. So that's what we were advocating for. And it was obviously it wasn't started by me. I just found out about it through a Facebook group, and that was kind of what catapulted it. But it's oddly enough, none of my videos went viral. It was actually my husband's video that went viral for the school board stuff. Okay. But we were just going to all of them. We just got engaged, and I don't know. I've just ever since then I've just been paying attention because I've always paid attention to like the national stuff and maybe a little bit of the state, but I was not locally engaged at all. And you know, we had got to Rockwall around 2015 timeframe, and so everything was fine. Like I loved the school district. We loved Rockwall. And so it was really shocking when we get to 2021 and I'm like, why aren't they listening to the parents? You know, so I was frustrated back then with kind of the lack of interest from some of the current school board members at the time.
And that's where we had our first clash. Yes.
I was going to bitch you that. We actually have.
It's a long one.
It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's funny.
It is very funny.
This is kind of long, but let me read it real quick. So we say.
Well, you don't need to read all of it. I mean, we're going to be here forever.
Let's find
at the time, if you're looking at it, it says die. So at the time, I had like a pseudonym online. And I think it was Di Carroll. I had to change it back to my real name when I decided to actually run for office because Di Carroll is not on ballots.
Yeah.
So basically, Billy's saying, hey, don't tag me in any more posts. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Yes.
And she said, I believe it was...
well, we weren't.
Oh, the post your husband's.
Yeah, we weren't friends, but somehow I was tagged because it was showing up on my feed.
Yeah.
And
at the time, I was a teacher.
So Billy comes back and said, you did tag me. Please don't anymore.
Right. Well, I think there was another one, and I don't know if it was you or whoever was doing it, but somehow I got tagged.
Okay.
And then, and so then I'm like, well, wait, I don't want to be tagged. And first of all, let me give my point here real quick. When you're a teacher, no, it ain't about this. I found out when you're a teacher, you can't do anything online. Like, they will get on you.
Yeah.
And so I would joke around back in the day and I made a joke about the Super Bowl halftime one point. And I said, man, this Super Bowl halftime is just extravagant. I mean, it's not to the level of a Lake Point church service, but I mean, it's extravagant. And so I kind of joked around about that. And I immediately was like, you got to take that off. I mean, so I knew that if I'm tagged in something that is anti-RASD, I'm in trouble. So that's why I'm like, I got to get off.
Go back one out. See, she says, bro.
Yeah. Well, she starts out with bro.
Have you been searching for this since April?
Right.
In my defense, Billy did not, he accepted my original, like, I don't think I tagged you. If I did, my bad. And then he came back like weeks later and he was like, you did tag me. And I'm like, have you been thinking about this?
No, because it came up again. That's what it hit again.
Okay.
And so I'm like, man, if I'm still tagged, I'm in trouble.
Okay, go ahead a little. The funniest part
is it where you're wanting to pull a skirt?
Yeah, I'm getting accused of
going out. We're looking for the skirt.
My skirt, yeah, which I wear longer skirts. I don't wear short skirts, and so that's what offended me. Oh yeah, that's a long one there.
Yeah,
go on.
I just know your name is Billy, and so I was like, pull your skirt down, B.
Right. I'm called Bro and B, and we've never met. And I got to pull my skirt up or down or whatever, which it is. Yeah, pull it down.
That was basically it.
Yeah, and so
that's how you two met.
Right, that's how we met. And I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? I just don't want to be tagged. And then she starts going off on Frank. Frank's a very good friend. And now me and Frank will disagree on stuff. Frank's still on city council. He's on school board. And we disagree on some stuff. And the thing that I will... I I'm trying to find the right word here. Agree with you. I don't know if agree with you, but I know what you're saying is you feel like the school board doesn't listen to you sometimes because they can't respond to. Yes. You have to go out there and you say everything, and all they can do is just look at you.
But sometimes it feels like bullshit.
That's my deal with Frank, because I say, is this a a district mandated thing that you don't respond, or is this a state mandated thing?
It is state.
Okay,
and
so
I will say that now being on city council, unless it is an agenda item, they're not allowed to comment on it.
And that is true.
I'm not sure if those meetings were special meetings. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Right.
So it is really possible that, and likely.
And it's frustrating to the person speaking.
And at the time, as a mom, I'm like, hello.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Address these issues.
And I've brought that up with school board members before. I go, why can't y'all respond? That's what they want. We want, and now knowing that it's not up to them, that it's a state mandated. At this point, now they can at some other time, or they can email you. Is the deal, which that ain't the same, And so I think
we have ran into that when we were wanting school board members to talk about bonds and stuff.
Right.
They
can't, and if they do, it has to be two of them. They have a lot of rules, and so those are the things that are frustrating to the everyday person that shows up like you did, and go there. And then the other part of that was you were very upset about things that were being taught in the schools and stuff. Well, I was a teacher; I didn't see it.
I did see it as a parent.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I think there's both sides where you see things that you did. But and I'm teaching graphic design. But I do know that I had a ton of teacher friends that were like, we don't do any of that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my wife's a kindergarten teacher at the time, and they didn't do it. Now, it doesn't mean it ain't going on or whatever, but in my world, none of that was going on. And there were some things being posted that were being done that were not being done. But now some of it, I think, probably was. And then the mask thing, too, was the issue, because I got COVID and almost died.
COVID is very...
Yeah.
I know very few people who was one of those that did nearly die, and you were one of them.
Right. And so that's when you made a comment about, and I said, hey, I'm fine if they wear the mask. This is, and I just gotten back to school. And she made a comment about, well, if they're all wearing masks, how'd you get sick? Something like that. And my deal was, there was one that wasn't wearing a mask, and that's the one that gave it to me.
One without them.
Yeah. So that's where, because when you get in the hospital, they trace it. They were tracing it back then. So they would go through every person you had contact with, and they would research it, and we figured out that there was a student that wasn't wearing a mask, that I was around a lot, helping them on the computer, and I got it, and then it went.
How did they get away with not wearing the mask?
Well, they weren't. No, I say it wrong. They had the mask on, but they were doing the mask was on their chin thing. They had the mask on, but they weren't wearing it right.
My favorite thing about that whole era was that you had to wear a mask into the restaurant.
Right.
But when you sat down.
Yeah.
So I guess
COVID's
right
up here.
Well, I'll never forget when I went to church. It was before I got COVID. We go in, and our Sunday school was not wearing masks, but they were supposed to, our Sunday school class. And I said, we're not wearing masks. They said, no, we're in church. I'm like, oh, does COVID know we can't come to church? I don't know if COVID's realizing that it can. Now, as I come back, exactly. But now as we look back, don't think the masks are doing a lot, and so and we now know the things about the vaccines, and there's some shadiness going on and all that stuff. But at the time, you're like, man, I'm doing whatever they tell me to do. I don't want to get this. I don't want to die.
Well, in the beginning, we thought it was the end of the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember when Trump came on and he had that look of fear?
Yeah.
It was like, I remember it was a Wednesday.
Right.
And I thought, this is it.
Yeah.
The end of the world.
Yeah. This is
I was like, wait a minute. Something ain't right. Nothing happened. And then it became very clear what was going on. But
anyway, that's a real quick recap of all
that's
that
the
fun. Yeah.
But that leads me to, you don't back down.
Not normally. No.
You're just going to say what you want to say, and that makes people nervous.
Yeah. Well, I will say that if somebody comes to me, I'm not somebody who won't listen. Like if you have a point, I'll listen to it. I don't look at myself as unapproachable. I think that people look at my online persona and they think, oh my gosh, she's crazy, and there's no reaching her. But I have been able, in my professional capacity, especially since getting on city council, to sit down and talk to people that I am completely opposed to. And it's happened over and over and over again. And it doesn't mean that I've changed anything about my position, unless, my position needed changing. But it just means that I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to talk to anybody. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. Me and our former mayor, we started out like really button heads. I said all sorts of mean things about him on the campaign trail. And then there was one Sunday where he visited my church, and my poor pastor, he didn't know that I did not like the mayor. And so we're all walking out of church together at the same time, and pastor is like, "Oh, it's the mayor, and you're on city council."
You must be best friends.
Yes. And so then I had to do the whole real awkward like side hug with David, and I was like, "Hi, David." Literally had never touched him, tried not to talk to him or anything.
And there you are in church.
And there I am having to be like, "Okay, Jesus, I guess we'll try to fix it."
Jesus is saying,
But
Yeah.
it was an
I sat with the hookers. You can be with this guy. You can be with him. Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a nice opportunity, and I took that opportunity, and I decided to, okay, fine, we'll go to Starbucks, David. And from that point on, you know, he would tell me in person that I sucked on a specific topic, and I would tell him the same thing. But there were times when we were kind of educating each other, right? He knew a lot of stuff about, you know, the state legislative process that I was completely unaware of. And so I've been able to take in knowledge from him, and we don't agree on everything. We certainly didn't agree on a lot of things when it comes to, like, you know, developments in our city, but I'm able to have a respectful conversation with him, and I've been able to do that with everybody on council up until very recently.
And, you know, and I know David, and I like David, and we were on the bond committee, and David, you know, he's a good guy. And so I love that. But you'll be willing, and this is where I come in with conservatives. I'm a conservative, you are. But I feel like we're the ones that are the most open to talking to somebody. Like, okay, I want to hear what you have to say. Because I'm super interested in why a liberal has that belief. And I know that it's valid for them. I know that they have a reason.
You don't think there's a lot of conservatives that will not just throw up their hands and say, "Nope, I'm not listening to it. Forget it."
I don't think so. I think most of them. Really? Well, I think there's a lot of liberals that do that. I mean, right now you see it where they don't even want to be in the room with you. They don't want to talk to you. They've already decided. Now, I'm not saying there aren't conservatives that will do that. There are. But I would think that a majority of them would be open to talking and getting that viewpoint. But we're in a day and age now that it seems, you know, maybe I'm biased. It seems that it's more on the liberal side that they don't want to talk to you. I mean, you saw they're not, they don't want to be with their families if they disagree. They don't want to do these things. You see it all the time where they don't want to be, they get mad at Bill Maher for having dinner with Trump. Yeah. Well, that's what you're supposed to do if you're disagreeing. And they're mad that he even went there. No, you should be happy that you're there, that you should be going across the aisle. And so are you open, it sounds like you are to a degree, that you're open to changing your mind if somebody presents.
I think if they have a good point,
right,
you should listen to it if you're in city council. And honestly, I will tell you that there are liberals in the city of Fate who they don't necessarily like my stances on, you know, abortion or even vaccinations, or I'm all about medical freedom and things of that nature. But I have had several liberals who have come out and they're like, you know what? I just appreciate that you're communicating with us, because a lot of people on council, they don't ever communicate. They don't post anything. There's no, it's not a two-way conversation. And I'm one of those people that I will talk to you, you know? So I think that in some ways, I've surprised some of my Democrat constituents, and I do have Democrat support. One of my very favorite people actually ran for county judge a few years ago, and he is a Democrat. But when I was campaigning, he reached out to me about something that's on the Republican Party platform, and he had a question about it. And he was like, would you be willing to sit down? And I think he had heard about me, and he thought I was going to like lay into him online. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's meet up. We met up at Arboletus. 3 hours later, he's like, you know, you're not that bad. And then actually at that time, it was just me and another Republican that were running. But by the time we all, you know, not the polling closed, but like when the filing deadline closed, there was a liberal that decided to run. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I understand, you know, there's a liberal in the race now. I just appreciate you sitting down with me, understanding you have to support her. And he was like, actually, I think I'm going to support you. And I was just blown away by it.
Yeah.
And he's been pretty rock solid, and I've always appreciated the fact that there are people out there like that even though we don't agree on national politics, that when it comes to local stuff, you can find common ground with these people. There's a saying, potholes aren't red or blue, right? People say it all the time. And it almost is annoying because you hear it all the time on city council. But the truth is that there are a lot of local issues that go across party lines. And so I have chosen with my Democrat constituents to focus on the things that we can agree on. And local control is one of those huge issues. I feel like, we need to focus on local control. We don't need to outsource that to the state or outsource that to the federal government. I think it needs to stay with the local government. And I think the smaller you go, the more relatable it is to the people and the better it is for the people that you're serving. So I've appreciated the Democrats that have given me a chance. Of course, there's some that still are not big fans of mine, and that's okay. I'm not going to change everybody's mind, but I am happy whenever I find people that are willing to listen, because I'm willing to listen to them.
I want to go back to, your outspokenness, and so many people know about you. I was one of those when I would read your I didn't know anything about you, but I'll read your comments. And I thought, who is this lady? Troublemaker. I can't believe it. But, recently I've got to talk to you a few times, heard a few recorded phone calls that we'll get to later. And I'm like, I think I like her. And I'm honestly saying
let's be totally honest. When Jay first brought up, I think we need to have Codi on. I'm like, no way.
That's right. I
said, nope. I don't think we need to do that. And
I'm still mad about Deton on pull a skirt.
Right. I'm still bitter about the skirt. I have some nice skirts.
There's something deep there you need to
No. But listen, when you broadcast football, you get way more criticism than anything else.
But I want to say this. As I had to look into myself and start thinking about why would I judge someone that way?
Yeah.
And I'm never one to jump to a race card or sex card. I wonder if you were a man, would I have those same feelings? I love Donald Trump. I love when he's obnoxious, rude, says what he wants to say. Do you remember we had the director of the National Intelligence sitting right here.
Yeah.
And he said, you both agreed, and I didn't. You both said, I hate when he starts acting like that. He kind of needs to pull it together.
Yeah.
This is the director of the CIA saying that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love it.
See, but
I didn't love it when you do it.
Right.
I think there's a lot to say there, if I'm honest.
Well, I think also there's a difference in it was the same for me. When you said we want to have Codi on, we need to think about Codi. I was like, no. I've seen the post. There'll be so many people pissed at us for having her on. And then I started thinking, well, no, that's dumb. We need to get everybody a shot, and that you got elected, and that there were a lot of people supporting. Yes. I'm like, well, there's a reason, so let's do it. And we also, to be fair, we're going to go into the recall thing. Of course, we're going to have Andrew Greenberg on too, and he's going to give his side. We're going to have another one, and then we'll let everybody decide for themselves. We're trying to be the
all the facts,
right? Let's just get I want both sides to say their thing, and then let's let y'all make your decision. But the thing with the Trump is, I constantly catch myself in, oh man, I'm glad he's doing that. Yeah, do that. Okay, please stop talking. Stop talking, please. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Bring it on.
Yeah, because then you're making it worse. You're making it worse. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? And so, but when you look back on it, it's highly entertaining. It's very funny to me. Yes. Everything's the best ever. People say, he always does people say it's the best ever. I love that. It makes me laugh. Yeah. But no, and so that's where it came into. I have
another horrible tweet that you made.
Oh.
And this is probably one of the worst you made. I wanted to
it's the Codi highlights.
I needed to Ariana Huff is unattractive, both inside and out. I fully understand why her former husband left her for a man. He made a good decision.
This is Ariana Huffington, right?
Oh, wait a minute. That was Donald Trump. I'm sorry. That was not yours. The point being, that's okay. Do we want to call that unbecoming?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's unbecoming. I mean,
It's funny.
well, I think what it comes down to is people, when you're in elected office, people want you to have a certain decorum. You know, and not that you don't say what's on your mind or whatever, but when it comes to she's ugly, he's an idiot, and all that, I think a lot of people start like, just go with the facts. But I'm not going to lie and say that it's not entertaining and it's not, you know, and sometimes if you're on the same side, you're 100% with them, you know, but when it's against yours, you're like, man, that's evil. They shouldn't say that.
Well, I just think everybody talks like this in private.
Right.
No one walks around at home with their pinky out and Kurt saying,
well, I have a skirt, so I have to do that.
You know, I think that people respect authenticity. And so I am authentic no matter where I am. I have, since being put on council, tried, at least from, you know, my podium, to make sure that I carry myself well, that I'm always professional. But when I'm on Facebook and people are attacking me, I'm like, you get what you ask for. You know what I mean? Like, that's just that's my vibe. And I understand some people don't like it and they don't have to vote for me.
Can you tell us who asked you to run for mayor?
Mayor?
I'm sorry, city council.
Like, wow.
Let me not jump ahead. You've not been asked yet, but who asked you to run? Did someone ask you to run for city council, or did you? How did that go down?
Yeah, so back in, I don't know if that was 2023, probably 2023, there was a issue with an exemption for a sex offender that was happening. And I had just moved to Fate. We were building a house out there. We were renting in like Wood Creek. And so there was this pimp that had come from California. He had sex trafficked some girls. And I wasn't aware of that meeting until after it was over with. But once I caught wind of that, the very next meeting, one of the action items was to change the child safety zone from 2,000 feet from where children are known to dwell to 1,000. So basically what that would mean is if you're a sex offender, you can't go to a playground or a school or whatever, you know, within a certain radius. So whenever I found out that they were trying to change it, and I've heard since then that was not really what it was, but at the time, that's really what it was in my mind, right? It's an action item. So to me, they were voting on whether or not they were going to make that radius smaller. And I threw a fit. And I, you know, called up friends. I made post after post. And, you know, between me and some of the other people that were there, we were able to pack out City Hall. And so it was at that meeting that I got up there and, you know, I was calling out different members for different things. And basically, like, what are y'all doing? Why would you try to change this? Why are we pro-pedophile? I'm just really confused. So,
that's kind of hard to understand.
Exactly. It was hard for a mom to wrap her head around.
Yeah.
And so I get up there and after it's all said and done, a lot of people, I guess they liked my style. And I mean, at that meeting, I wasn't nice. I got asked to sit down by a cop. So I've always said, you know, I almost got arrested.
Did they like walk up to you?
Yeah. They walked up to the side of me and like patted me on the shoulder. And I was like, I get 3 minutes. And so I just kept right on talking. I was like, but I backed the blue, you know, and I just like kind of turned back and continued my little spiel. And then after that, I sat down and it was all good. But people, they noticed that I had this fiery personality, I guess. And when it came time to find somebody who was willing to serve on council, all these people started tagging me because there was a lady who was online and she was looking for somebody to run in Fate for Fate City Council. And so they reached out to me. I ended up accepting their offer to have a meeting. And so what's interesting is now the very people that were in that meeting that asked me to run are some of my biggest critics now. And I think the reason for that is that they loved how I was so long as it wasn't pointed towards them.
What are their names?
Well, their names, the people that were at that meeting, that was Randy Long, it was Michael Pipkins, it was Mark Hatley, his wife Patty, and then also my former, quote-unquote, campaign manager, Misty Gajewski.
Okay.
So at this point, they don't like me. And I tell people this, I'm like, for me, there's no way to call out corruption within the Democrat Party in Rockwall County. Democrats don't run anything here. So if I'm the type of person who seeks justice and wants to call out corruption, I really don't have any option other than to call it out amongst my own. And that's kind of where we're at. I get behind the scenes and I kind of learn how the sausage is made since getting on council. And I'm like, whoa, there's some things that are happening that I don't really like. And instead of sitting back and just taking my photo ops with Ted Cruz and Greg Abbott, like a lot of the other GOP members, I speak out on it, and I don't really care about your cocktail parties. So I haven't made a lot of friends with the elites or the establishment, whatever they want to call themselves.
What do you think the GOP thinks about you? If they were being recorded privately, what would they say?
I don't know what they would say. Other than they don't like me, they need to get rid of me. I don't think they like the fact that I have influence. I think they're confused, though, as to why I have influence. My title is not what makes people like me.
Times have changed. This is not 1981.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares that I'm on city council. I think that the reason they found me is because I already had influence.
You've had a voice.
Yeah, and I used it,
Okay, and let's go back real quick. They encourage you that you run for city council and you're elected. You defeat Cinnamon Cross.
Mm-hmm.
And you get 56% of the vote. These are people that voted for you, knowing all your posts,
sure,
knowing that you get feisty,
yep.
And all that, and they still elected you, which is a good thing. I mean, they elected you for you.
Yeah.
But so anyway, what I'm getting to now is you're elected in 2024. Here we are in 2026, because the reason you're here and talking about all this is there has been issued a recall, and let's explain what a recall
does that mean?
Yeah.
A recall is basically another election. It's like an election before you're supposed to have one. So you can get a petition, and you can get signatures of 30% of the last election. And it just so happens that the last election, I think the magic number was like 350 signatures. So they were able to get 350 signatures to initiate a recall election. What makes this recall so...
Real quick before you went to, who is initiating the recall? Yeah, tell us who's initiating the recall.
That's where I was headed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But so what makes this recall unique, and unique is a very kind way to describe it, is that it is a mayor-led recall. Everyone that was on the commission, well, the majority of the people that were on this committee, this commission, there's not only you have to have 10 people minimum. More than half of the people who signed up for this committee are elected officials. And if they're not elected officials, their spouses or their mother is an elected official. So I think if we're being honest, that recalls appropriately should be citizen-led. It shouldn't be a vendetta. People talk about, how there's another recall happening right now, and they keep saying that that's retribution or whatever.
That's the danger of the whole process.
It's really, that's the retribution, is that I didn't fall in line with the political party or the political people that are surrounding me. I just didn't do it. I decided.
What is their reasoning for the recall? Because from what the rules state, when I did looked into recalls, it needs to be, you want to do it because somebody has to or think that you're doing something illegal or something unjust or something like that.
But is that for fate?
That's for, I think it's for
There's a specific fate.
Okay.
definition, right?
Yeah. So for FATE, our charter, and for people who don't know, a charter is basically like your city's constitution. So I happen to be on the Charter Commission, and I am quoted in the middle of this commission from the dais saying they could recall me because my hair is red by this verbiage. And at the time, it was like I had a crystal ball. I knew that this was going to come back and bite me in the butt. Nobody else, because nobody else is loud and mouthy, right? That's just me. So I knew that this would end up being weaponized against me even back then. At the time, I didn't know that it would be the people that it ended up being. But I stopped listening to them. When they would tell me what I needed to do, actually, I just told them, I'm not doing that.
What did they want you to do that you wouldn't fall in line? Is there a whistleblower situation, or what changed?
So that was definitely the moment that broke the camel's back. But there were things that led up to that. I, for a while, just wasn't cooperating. You know, I'm not somebody who's manageable. You can't order me around. You can't tell me what to do. Don't try to mansplain to me how I'm supposed to think about different things. There were issues with golf carts. In my mind, I don't have golf cart money. I don't own a golf cart. But do I want to regulate whether or not somebody who does have a golf cart can take it up to fresh and drive around with their kids? No, I don't care. I'm a conservative. I'm a limited government type of gal. So it didn't make sense to me that these so-called conservatives, and I call them conservative Marxists, because they really want big government. They call themselves conservatives, but in my mind, they're not conservatives, because they do want to regulate things that shouldn't be regulated. The state of Texas says that if you're on a golf cart, you can't not have a driver's license, right? You have to have driver's license, you have to have taillights, headlights, all the things. Who am I to come in and give extra regulations? I just thought enforce state law. But there were people on council who got very upset because, they're like, what about the children? I'm like, the children aren't supposed to be on the freaking golf carts anyways. Tell the cops to start writing tickets. Nobody will be on the golf carts anymore. So there were things like that along the way. But definitely there was a whistleblower situation, and I started to be made aware of that sometime this, last fall. And there were former and current FATE DPS officers who had been having some issues, and they reached out to me privately. And after thinking about it, praying about it, I couldn't ignore it. That's not who I am. I'm not the person who can find out that there is things that are happening within my city, especially where I do have a responsibility to not just the voters, but also to make sure that the city staff is protected, which includes our DPS officers. And the things that I was finding out, they were very troubling to me. So I forced the issue of having conversations about it. I as a city council person, I can't fire and I can't hire any DPS officers, but I felt that their voices were important, and I felt that the entire city council needed to know what their claims were. So I forced that issue, and I made sure that the rest of city council was on board. And due to all that stuff that happened, there were terminations with, our DPS chief. And it was very unfortunate. I know there were a lot of people that were very upset about that. It was not something that I took pleasure in, but it was something that I felt very strongly that our city manager, he had my support in doing it after finding out what I found out. And I couldn't really understand why there were other people on city council that didn't want to back the blue. It's more than just a slogan and a bumper sticker to me. I actually do back the blue. And when I have police officers and firefighters coming up to me and telling me that there's stuff going on behind the scenes that is causing them to be put into danger, I have to do something about that. And so that's where I landed on it. And unfortunately for me, that's the retaliation. That's the retribution. I'm getting recalled. And most, they're going to call it conduct unbecoming. But if we're just being honest, my conduct's been unbecoming for a decade now online. It's well documented. That wasn't a problem. The real reason is because I had the balls to stand up, and there were other people on council that did too. And I don't necessarily want to name drop them, but I did have some support on council with this, and they are dear friends of mine now. But to this day, I know I did what was right. And if I get recalled on May 2nd, you know what? That's just the cost of doing business and doing the right thing. And I'm okay, and I can sleep at night.
Okay, let me ask you this then. So to get it straight, you knew something that was going on that shouldn't be going on in DPS. Yes. You went to the proper authorities, and there was terminations. They found out that this was true, and there was terminations to have a resolution to it.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's a very well documented, because there's audio discussing my position. And then also we had, Mark Hatley, who is also on council, who was secretly recording our city manager and at the time, and I think she still is, HR director. But
how are they recording them? Like on what? Like
I have no idea.
They have recordings.
Oh, there's recordings.
Okay.
They're published. Literally in the middle of one of these recordings where he's secretly recording our city manager and the HR director, he drops the recorder. And they're like, "Are you recording this?" And he's like, "No," click. And then it comes back later, like 10 seconds, and we're re-recording again. I mean, no shame at all.
You hear him say secret recording in 3, 2, 1.
You would think that'd be like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But you have the balls to do it again. It's like,
so what I'm getting to then is, so obviously there was something, and there was terminations for it, and now because of this, you're getting people want to have a recall to get you out, even though it's justified apparently it's justified what you said. If there's been it's been handled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our city manager is not. He's a Canadian, and I say that because he's so non-confrontational. This is not a mean-spirited man. He never would have targeted anyone. I would not have been able to bully him into this decision. It would have been something that he had to feel strongly about in order to do it, because if I'm being honest, he's probably too easy on everyone. And so for him to make the decision that he did ultimately, it had to be at the advice of, city attorneys, and then listening to all of the different people that were involved. He didn't come to this decision just overnight. It was despite what people said.
And you go at it with great risk. You're risking your jobs. If it is not, and that's what I'm getting to. I would think it would be and so I would think it'd be the opposite. If you brought this up and they investigate it and there's nothing there, then I could see somebody saying, "Hey, she's trying to get some things out there that's not there, so we need to have a recall because she's not doing, she's not telling the truth." And so it seems it should be the opposite, at least from, Well,
and the other part of this is that because these officers were going through what they were going through, they were scared to put their names on a statement. And so I had asked them to just create me a timeline. There were a bunch of them that had gotten together. I didn't know who all was part of the, I don't know what you would call it, like the whistleblower committee or whatever. But, I had contacts with different people, and they got together and they submitted a letter to me, and they dropped it off. And so as soon as I got the letter, I called the city manager and I read it to him, and he said, "Please send that over to me." I sent it over to him. He distributed it to all the council. So they were on the same page. And this anonymous letter from the DPS, I've been accused of writing it myself, which is absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't have possibly known the things that were being claimed because I'm not an officer. So there were things that they were talking about, like tactically and things I wouldn't have known. Okay. Like, I'm a hairstylist. I'm not a cop. And I couldn't have created that if I tried to, even with like ChatGPT. So, but that was one of the accusations. Codi did this. I'm targeting, the person that was fired, and that's just not true. Unfortunately, though, there is, I like to call him Little Pip, but there is a Pipkins report, Michael Pipkins, who has released article after article after article about me. And
all good?
Yeah.
I guess not.
I've seen the illustrations. They're very flattering.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cartoon Codi is great. So anyways, so he's made a bunch of articles, and they have not been beneficial for me. And people look at that, they read that, they come to assumptions, and then you're on the defense. Then I'm forced to defend myself, and I have to make, my own videos. And it's frustrating, but I knew it was going to be like that. I knew whenever I did the right thing, it was going to come at a cost. And again, I'm okay with paying that because sometimes you got to do the right thing.
From what you know, has this ever happened in Rockwall County? Has anyone ever tried it?
No, and as far as I know, I have been told that this is the first ever attempt at a recall.
So does that make you proud?
You're breaking the glass ceiling, Cody.
Yeah. Now, since my recall, there's others that have happened because it's
now
like
it's
a domino,
let's start it, and that's the danger.
Yeah. You started this, and now everybody's.
When I heard that this was happening,
a dangerous precedent is.
It is a dangerous. Yeah. They're already seeing how quickly it can be. When I first heard this, I was like, okay, she must have robbed a bank, killed somebody, kicked a 4-year-old in the head. When you say you don't get to finish your term that you were elected for, you better break the law.
Yeah. Well, you're stealing the life of the voters who put me in.
I find that un-American.
It is un-American.
And I won't apologize for that. Tell me what you did, and nobody will say shit.
I would love I am very interested in what I did. What is conduct unbecoming? I mean, I've been accused of being a liar. I've been accused of being all sorts of things.
Saying a guy wears a skirt.
Well,
it's kind of cuts deep.
I wish I knew what I lied about, and I would love to be able to respond to whatever claims he made. At this point, I still don't know what I did exactly. I mean, I believe that this has to do with the termination of the chief because my conduct's always been the same. If anything, it's improved. And people that I serve with will actually tell you that, the ones that are fair, they will tell you, that I've actually gotten better. I'm fine. They're fine with working with me.
Would you admit that you've crossed the line at times?
It depends on who's drawing the line.
Right. But you're saying I've gotten better is why I'm asking that,
As far as like worldly standards of what decorum is. I have not.
Well, the other thing is I think we're in a world that,
like that,
we're in a world now that everybody is letting loose anyway. So it's not like this is rare anymore. I mean, you see both sides just cutting loose. They're cussing. They're calling each other Nazis and socialists and all these things.
Don't hold me to a different standard than you hold yourself to. If you're going to get online and call me, a barracuda or a heinous evil B word, just be ready because I am not a politician despite my title and I speak my mind. So if you're going to come at me, I'm going to come back at you. And I don't do it from the dais. I do it from Facebook because that's where everybody finds me to text me. There's been a few at Fresh, that are like hurl insults at me, but for those, I just kind of ignore it. We're in public, and I'm like, God bless you. I'm just going to get my tomatoes. Thank you.
I wanted to say, as I've done some research for this and spoke to many people, many people would go on the record and would let me record why they felt like the recall was a horrible thing. Yeah. I couldn't find anyone that would go on the record for Andrew. Yeah. I was told they're scared. I was told by many, you're not going to find it because they're scared of her. That word "scared of you" came up a lot. I was told that the problem with you is you're an activist. You're not a politician. Absolutely. I said, that's a compliment.
Amen. That's right. My constituents that put me in office, it's not a problem for them that I'm an activist because they know that if they call me up and there is actually something going on, I will be the first one to stand on the side of the road right next to them with a sign, and I'll go march with them because that is what I really care about. I care about the people, and that's just how
don't you, and I look at it this way, I think you have two groups. I think it's changing now where you got people like yourself, and you can throw Trump in, you can throw in Jasmine Crockett on the other side, all these things where they're going to come in and they're going to say what's on their mind and not worry about it. Then you have the quote-unquote regular politicians are like, nope, this is the way we've always done it. Even if it's, something that it may not be on the up and up, but this is how we've done it, so we're going to continue doing it. And I'm not saying anything like that's going on. I'm just saying that there's a way everybody's dealt with that. And anything we've ever done, when you go in and try to change things, that's the hardest thing in the world sometimes when there's been a steady stream of here's how we do it. And so it seems to me that there's always people that, for lack of a better word, that, hey man, you're just not doing it the way we normally do it.
And to that I say, I don't care about your rules.
Right.
Do you ever fear any type of retribution from these people?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've felt a lot of it since getting.
I mean, they're scared of you, apparently.
Yeah, that's cute. The worst part about me is what you see online. Despite my infamous mugshot, I've never beat up anybody.
The mugshot, I meant to.
You should have. I have a cute mugshot.
So what happened there with the mugshot?
Well,
Can you talk about it?
I mean, I can. It has to do with. I'm trying to be careful.
When did it happen?
Well, it happened in 2021.
Okay.
I had a...
Right when you insulted me, 2021.
Yeah.
And I was the one that called the police. No, I'm kidding.
So I had a family member who now is estranged who lived with us, and they had some mental health issues. And so we decided we were not going to allow that person to live with us and our children. And we tried to end things amicably. And when I say amicably, I mean, I bought them a car. I paid for their cell phone bill. I was paying for their car insurance. I found them a new person to live with. All the things that, a good family member does, even for those who are mentally unwell. But on their way out the door, they were very frustrated that day. And they decided to call the police. And it just kind of went left. At the time, the police came out. She had lost her cell phone because she actually hit me upside the head with her purse. And I did not press charges because they're elderly. It didn't actually hurt. And I was like, yeah, I just really want her to go, and I don't want her to come back. So when she hit me, the cell phone flew. She couldn't find it. I didn't even know she had lost her cell phone. We locked her at the door on the way out, like, didn't want you back in because you were causing a scene. And she went to the neighbor's house, borrowed their phone. The cops come out. The cops are invited in. And I'm like, I don't know where her cell phone is. Let's all look for it together. So, we find her cell phone. She goes on about her business. I think it's all dead and gone. 3 months later, I get a phone call from Deputy Dick from the Rockwall County Sheriff's Department. And I thought I was getting buffed.
Why did you think that?
Well, I literally told him, I said, sir, you have a very unfortunate name. I'm going to...
So his real name is Deputy.
It's really Deputy.
Okay.
That's just, she's not saying that.
I thought you were just being, doing one of your media posts again. And just,
he legitimately, he didn't choose his name.
Right.
I had to call the Rockwall Sheriff's Department and make sure that this person actually existed. So when I found out...
This dick just called me. Yeah.
It does exist.
It does exist. And so at that point, I had to waste a lot of money on an attorney to get that dismissed. And it was mugshot happened. But I got prepared and I was like, they're not going to catch me slipping. So I went in with my hair and makeup done and I pranced into the prison. And I think it's a prison because the chicken nuggets were terrible.
Did you get the hot mustard though? That makes it better.
There was no mustard. No ranch, no ketchup, no nothing.
That's prison. That's prison.
Chicken nuggets. And now there's another little fun fact that I learned from my time in the slammer. So it's really cold. I was there for 8 hours, and what happened, what the girls would do is they would actually take their maxi pads and put them on the ceiling where the air vents were because it was so cold. And so they were trying to block the airflow. And I supported it because it really was.
Well, a maxi pad is good at stopping the flow. It worked, so there you go. Yeah. I have to give a quick shout out to Adam and Junior over here. They are fighting a battle that nobody wants to fight.
Right now, the wind is crazy.
And we have this big garage door, Jay does. Jay's decided to have this beautiful big studio and make it smaller for some reason. And so then...
It's tall.
It is tall, but that helps us a lot. And then he's got Junior and Adam, who are in Misty Rayson's class over at... And the wind is making that door, make noise. And all they've been doing, they're supposed to be working the boards and the computers. All they're doing is holding the door.
I told their teacher, it's a great opportunity to learn camera or audio. Working with guests.
They're going to show up back with bruises. They're going to have bruises on their arms.
And they have been...
And they're like, Misty's going to be like, what in the world? Well, he made us hold this door.
Their arms.
They can't even watch. They're facing the wall.
They're not even looking at the computers. They're just looking at a door.
Next time we'll let her run the whole
And then
thing.
Allison's over here just yelling at him, which is not cool. She's just yelling at him, calling him names. It's not cool. So anyway, I'm sorry to break it up, but I just felt bad for him.
It is.
And I'm the one watching it. I'm watching it. And they've done no computer work whatsoever.
So now what is your state of mind through all this?
Man, it's been rough.
I know you're tough.
Yeah.
But I
don't want to be this tough. Like I'm tough in my speech, but in real life, I'm not all that tough. I still have feelings. I'm a real human being, and I want to be a good mom, and I want to be a good wife, and a good neighbor. But man, they have been very, very difficult mentally, not just on me, but on my children, on my husband especially. It's been rough.
Yeah.
We're pulling through. We have a good support system. We have a good church. And I do have friends that have really, they've come through and they've defended me in my absence, even when I wasn't around. And that's what makes you want to keep on fighting, even when everything sucks,
Now, where do you go to church? Just give them a shout out.
I go to Encounter Church and Faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pastor Binion is my pastor.
Okay, good. We're talking about, what you're going through and all this stuff. To me, it just seems, it doesn't seem like there's a reason, and that's the thing that's hard. Like if they would have come in and said, we got her saying this or she did this.
Like I said, she robbed a bank.
Right.
Tell me
and
what
it
you
doesn't
did.
seem that it's that. It seems more like, God, we don't like you.
Yeah. Well, and they did get me on recording talking about in great detail. Unfortunately, my mayor, he secretly recorded a phone call. And if you go back and you listen to the tapes, I'm talking to him like he's my bestie, because at the time
I noticed that.
I felt like we were really good. I mean, me and Andrew had hour-long conversations. We hung out outside of council. We had a really good relationship as far as I knew. And so all I can say is I don't know when he flipped or if he's just always been like this. I can't call it. I don't know what I did to make him do what he did, because I will tell you this, I didn't deserve it.
No.
I never would have recorded his phone call.
I did.
And that, okay, I'm going to go back to the record because I'm still confused by
Tell how
where somebody.
This is public record.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody has recorded phone calls. Yeah.
He recorded
Mine.
their phone call.
Okay, so anytime you talk, you can do it on an iPhone. You just hit your button and you record it. Okay,
Well,
okay.
No, I don't think that's what happened.
Because you can hear the
another.
beeps if you
Okay.
Yeah, it'll let you know
Okay.
if you're getting recorded and you do it from your phone. He had to have another sort of device of some sort.
So you didn't know.
I
Okay.
absolutely no
But
idea.
the funniest part, and I couldn't believe it, he said, "You're not recording me, are you?"
He was like, "This will end my political career."
This'll end my political career.
And laughed about it like it was
But he was recording you.
the whole time.
Huh.
It was a 2-hour, almost
it's
a 2-hour.
fascinating. It's fascinating to listen to because
That's
those
one
are.
way to describe
If anybody ever
It was
recorded my phone
infuriating.
calls,
Yeah, I'm worried.
I would never friend on earth.
Yeah.
You never expect what you say to a friend in private
Yeah.
to become public.
Well, and I was talking to him about private matters that really should not be public, because I'm talking about what these cops' statements are. And through this whole thing, I have never given up the identity of not one of those officers or firefighters that reached out to me.
Did the tapes give those up?
Because I have never told him.
You didn't, so you've never mentioned them.
I mentioned their stories and their testimonies.
Right, but you never said names.
Never.
Okay, so, and these are public record? These recordings are public?
They are public.
Where can you go get them? Where can you listen for them?
They've been open records.
I'll send them to you.
Okay. But for all the viewers, if they want to.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can put it in the link.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But it is online and it is available.
Several hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of it's eye-opening. Some of it's boring. Some of it's just all kinds. of
Yeah.
Well, I guess I just worry if anybody's ever recording. That just always worries.
At this point, if you're a politician,
Assume you are.
you are being recorded.
Yeah.
Always. Everywhere you go. It's come to that,
Wow, that's fascinating to me. That you even go back all the way to Nixon when he did all his recordings, and it burned him, in the long run. And so, wow, that's the thing that it doesn't seem on the up and up.
No, and it definitely wasn't. And honestly, if I'm being real honest, this is going to sound bad, but I'm going to say it anyways, because what the heck. I don't think Andrew is smart enough to do this by himself. I think there's other people ordering him around. I think he's also a puppet.
Who do you think they are?
I don't know. I wish I did.
What do they want from him?
I think that they see some sort of potential in him. He's a great orator, I'll tell you that. He speaks really well, and he can get out of a lot of jams because of the way that he's able to kind of go around and dance around a subject. He's very much a politician, you know, and I think that they see that in him.
Not an activist?
Yeah, he's an actor, though.
An actor?
So, you were on good terms with him for a decent amount of time, and then all of a sudden it just and then when did you know that things had flipped? Like when you're sitting there and things are good, you've had, you talk to him, and all of a sudden, what was the time when you're like, wait, what's going on?
So I got recorded. I know it was my husband's birthday because I mentioned that my husband had gone out with one of his friends. That was November 14th of this year. I saw him the very next day at the Festival of the Trees. We all hung out, sat at the same table. He called me in the parking lot. He was like, where are y'all at? Are you at the bar? Get me a drink. We're just like friends do. We sat down, had a great time. That Monday, we had a city council meeting, and it was that meeting where I had decided to put the issue about the DPS chief on executive session. So I can't talk about things that happened in executive session, but I will just say it was in that meeting that I saw a completely different human.
It was like night and day.
Yes, he lifted the mask, and from that moment forward, it has just been on. We have been at war because I realized, oh my gosh, this is a real snake. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen somebody turn like that and just be able to sell that they're your friend. And that's why I call him an actor. I've made little comments about him being like a theater kid and stuff like that because he really was in theater in high school, and that's a cheap shot, sure. But I feel a little entitled to that after getting my phone calls recorded.
Okay, I think Jay was in theater in high school.
I was in choir.
Oh, sorry.
And I understand that we have.
And you've made fun of me for being in band and choir my whole life.
Hey, and my son is in theaters, right? He's the dirty one.
The one with the cool jacket
and the shoes. All right.
He's in theater right now, so I think.
Sorry, Jay. I should for the record, Jay was in choir
and band.
Yeah, that makes you cool. All right, yeah, that's nice. What did you play?
The saxophone.
Saxophone. What was that? That's the coolest instrument other than the drum. Drums are good.
Drums are good, but people love Kenny G. I mean,
do they?
They did.
It's Christmas time.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's Christmas album. It's iconic.
Yeah, Kenny G, the Jewish guy doing Christmas. That's what we're gonna do. But okay, so Jay played the saxophone. He was the coolest band member.
Yes.
I was
at Garland.
I was runner up for the. They do a band, Sweetheart and Beau. I was runner up.
This sounds intriguing. Okay. You were runner up. You weren't the beau.
It was my oown election.
Were there recordings during this? Okay.
Probably. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't win, so
well, you should have called for a recall.
I should have led the recall.
Yeah. I think we're learning stuff now. It's not too late. Go back. Who did? Just so you can get it off your chest. Who did become the beau? Do you remember?
I could see he played the drums.
Was it Johnny Samples? I heard Johnny Samples was the one.
Nick. His name was Nick, and he played the drums.
Okay. Oh, see, drummer. Yeah. There you go.
He's probably some homeless.
Drummer always gets the chicks, man. Oh, now you're saying he's homeless.
Don't be a hater.
Yes.
You're right.
Take it from Cody. Don't be a hater.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great. All right.
Okay, so I've got a couple of viewers who had some questions for you.
Sure.
I didn't know. I know one of them. And he brings up a point that I did want to talk about. And I think he said it earnestly, but I don't know if he knew all of the, the background.
The nitty-gritty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that is, he said, and this is Jeffrey Lyons, who I like very very much.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think what a lot of people are thinking, like, golly, this is hurting our city. I honestly, this is the truth. I had a realtor tell me she has some California customers that were coming. She's like, well, too bad I can't take them to Fate. I'm scared they're going to Google the word Fate, Texas, and be, I would be embarrassed.
It's truly
That is so, this whole debacle, like for a realtor to think that, that says
That's tough. Though I'll say this, though. The Fate logo is still quality and is what's going to get them through the City of Fate logo.
Did you do
Maybe, just maybe.
He did. So he says, would y'all ever consider getting lunch together and trying to rehash out some peace between one another for the good of the city at this point? Yeah. Or is this an absolute no going back point? Will we never be remotely friendly again?
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of touching on what I was saying.
Sure. The answer is no. No.
Have you ever tried? Have y'all?
Yes.
Okay.
So before the January 6th meeting, there was a meeting where the entire county of Rockwall was shut down. In fact, pretty much every city in the DFW, to my knowledge, had canceled all of the city council meetings. We had a council meeting that day, and they pushed through the recall because they were able to manipulate the charter rules and change a special city council meeting into a regular city council meeting. And this is kind of a convoluted topic, but I'll try to simplify it as best as I can. But based on our city charter, you have a certain amount of days that you have to get all these different things done. There's timelines for everything. So the only date that they could do it was January 26th. If they pushed it to the next meeting, which by our city charter rules, it has to be a regular city council meeting that they do this, then it would have gone to the November ballot. And for whatever reason, they really wanted me on the May ballot. They did not want it on the November ballot. But by doing that, they forced the public who wanted to speak out to come out in the snow. And it was so bad that our city manager actually offered to have DPS officers pick us up and take us to the city council meeting and bring us back home. So it was so unsafe for us to be on the roads that we're getting offers by the city manager to have DPS pick us up, but yet the public who had a right to be there, had a right to have a voice about this recall effort, they had to put their lives and their cars, their property in jeopardy in order to get there. I was so happy to find that there were so many people that came to that meeting, although I told them all to stay home. I did, because they shouldn't have to put their lives in jeopardy to get to a city.
It really was bad.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And it was dangerous. And there were car accidents, not based on anybody that had come to that meeting, but we know that there were. You know, you look at how many car accidents there were that day on the roads, and there were people that, you know, they destroyed their cars. And so I just felt it was really irresponsible. It was a manipulation of the charter. It never should have happened, but he did it anyways. You know why? Because he had the power as mayor. So you're not supposed to be able to use your official capacity for your own personal gain and your private interests. And that's what he did. And those other council members that voted in favor of moving or changing the classification of that meeting from a special meeting to a regular meeting, they were in on it. And that's why they're being recalled. It's not because I told them to. I don't even know who half of the members are on that committee. But voters, they don't like that. They don't like it whenever they find out that their elected officials are manipulating the charter.
It seems like a circus.
Yeah.
So there's a recall for them.
Now
There is. Yeah. And by the way, I just for the record, I'm not going to sign the recall. My husband is not going to sign this petition.
Did you have anything to do with it?
I didn't. I knew it was going on. You know, it's fate. You know, we're not all that big. I knew it was happening. But you know, I hadn't even talked to the people that were heading it all up. I found out later on and talked to them afterwards. But when they were deciding to do all this, they did it by themselves. They felt very strongly that they didn't like what was going on. They didn't want their vote to be removed because a group of elected officials got together and decided Codi wasn't good enough to sit on council anymore.
You got any more viewer questions?
Autumn and Levinsky, was there an agreement between John Stacy, Andrew Greenberg, and Misty Gajewski to convince both Mark Hatley and Codi Chinn to resign? If so, what was the response from Hatley and Chinn?
Yes. So trying to remember the dates, possibly December 21st. it was right before Christmas. I received a phone call from John Stacy and Scott Kelly. Scott Kelly also sits on council with me. And actually they sent a text first and they're like, hey, are you in town?
Real quick, John Stacy's county commissioner.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
want to
sorry.
make sure.
John Stacy is county commissioner. So they sent a message to me and they're like, hey, we'd like to get together. And I was like, actually, I'm in Grapevine with my kids. We're doing the whole Christmas thing out there. And so I said, I can do like a 3-way call later on tonight. And so they called me and they made an offer and they were like, hey, Andrew's recalling you. Don't know if you know. And I said, actually, I do. I've heard the rumors and I had posted about it. So they knew that I knew. But they said they're going to go through with this, Codi, to avoid, all the craziness. Why don't you just resign? And I know that you aren't going to do that without us giving you something. So they had, cooked up this plan, apparently, with Andrew, Misty, Gajewski, and Scott and John. And I don't know to what level John and Scott were the masterminds. It's not my feeling that they were necessarily masterminding this. It's my feeling that this was Andrew's baby, and Misty is definitely one of those people that I would call her a handler. She really has a lot to do with everything he does and says, and she is not a Fate resident, so it's a little weird, the obsession she has with my city. But they got together at some point and they were like, hey, if we could talk Mark Hatley, who's also on council, into resigning, would you be willing to resign? Well, I chuckled to myself because I know good and well Mark Hatley is never going to resign. But I thought it would be hilarious to be a fly on the wall when they asked him. And so I said, yeah, you know what? Call me back after you talk to...
He called the bluff.
Call me back after you talk to Mark Hatley and let me know what he says. Well, I never got a phone call back, but I get a text message from John Stacy. The deal is off. Have a Merry Christmas.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay, I've got one last one. Erica Hatfield. She gave several, but let me read one. Sure. Has Codi Chinn or any city council members been a part of gross mismanagement? 3 examples: supporting policies, city ordinances that cause severe financial harm to the city; mismanaging budgets or approving irresponsible spending; thirdly, ignoring serious infrastructure or safety issues.
No. I think if I would have ignored our DPS officers, then I would have been committing one of those. But no,
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Oh, really?
All right. Well, got a lot of info.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. One other thing before we wrap this up. I want to say I've noticed through my research, I watched a lot of city council meetings. Your husband
Yes.
has your back, as any good man would, but to the end of the earth, I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
You would walk through a wall
and he's here.
to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to hear. We want to bring him. I want to bring him over here. We want to hear from him. Come on over here. Come on over here, Chinn. We've got a chair for you. I'm going to slide this over.
Do you have another headset?
No, he can hear us, though.
Okay.
I'll just share that mic. Well, Chinn, as people call you, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me, I couldn't imagine what you're going through right now with all this. I know you don't like to let your feelings out, but can we pry it out of you?
Because we were talking, before you answer, we were talking, if something like this happened to our wives, we'd be losing it. It would be so hard. There you go.
That way they can see your
Yeah.
face.
There you go. Get them on camera. Don't use my shot, though. I want my shot to stay on.
Stay
Yeah,
clear.
that's the beauty shot there. There you go. All right. So, kind of tell us how this has been. This has got to be just mind-numbing for you.
Honestly, I just try to stay Christ-like, man. To be honest with you. When Christ was going through his persecution with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and all that stuff, he stayed quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He tried, he stayed quiet. And it's really hard doing that, but I try.
There have been a couple of moments where Jesus has had.
Well, let's remember Jesus threw the tables over at the temple. Yeah,
Don't you forget Jesus from the south side of heaven. He flipped the tables and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I fell short of the glory. You know, The only regret that I have is that, I let people get me off my square. Normally I'm quiet. I let people say what they say. I let people do what they, I let people voice their opinions, and I don't say anything. But it really did affect me emotionally to have somebody flat out lie. That bothers me as a man. Because I truly believe that a man's word is supposed to be his bond. If you say something, you're supposed to stand on that, regardless. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, you're supposed to stand on your word. If you mess around and you tell a lie, then you fight on that lie. That's what you do. As a man, you stand on your word. Your word is your bond. And if somebody knows the truth and they sit there and they still lie, it bothers me to no end. That is the way to get under my skin, by being dishonest. Because no matter what, I'm going to tell you the truth. You two gentlemen here, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't lie to this woman. I don't lie to my wife. Why would I lie to you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You understand?
So that's what bothers me about the whole situation with Andrew Greenberg, Hipkins, all these people, is that they know the truth and they still choose to lie. That's why I allowed them to get me off my square and be emotional during that city council.
But I think everybody sympathizes with that, because anytime your family is lied to or lied about, attacked. My wife is a high school teacher now in Saxe, and it's a minor deal compared to this, but there's a student that lied, about something, and she had to go into a meeting and everything, and it's driving me insane.
And you just want to go
You just want to go there and go. But, and I can't imagine with what y'all are going through.
Exactly. But what I should have done was do what I've always done, and just be silent. Because people don't realize, you know what I'm saying, silence is your power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always better for somebody to look at you from afar and think that you're a fool than to open your mouth.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yes.
And don't you think,
That's
too?
the way I feel. I feel like I proved, by me going up and speaking in front of city council and getting emotional, I feel like I proved them right. You know what I'm saying?
You felt bad afterwards?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did have these feelings, but I don't feel like that what I said was wrong. I felt like my delivery was wrong. I shouldn't have been so emotional.
Do you feel like your time in the military and all that you saw, I know you fought.
Yes, sir.
You were shot fighting for it.
Let me correct something about that.
Okay.
My Purple Heart did not come from me being shot. Okay? My Purple Heart came from me being hit with a 107 millimeter rocket at 4:15 in the morning on July 10th, 2011. Sergeant Stephen L. Talamontes from San Antonio, Texas, was killed in that incident. You know what I'm saying?
So this is a missile that hit were y'all asleep?
Yes.
Okay.
So just to go in a little, give you a little context. You sleep in what they call, they're called CHUs, Central Housing Units.
Okay.
They're like trailers. You know what I'm saying? If you're E4 and below, you share it with somebody, E5 and above, you have your own. Okay. Now, our trailers, I wish I would have sent you the picture for better context. I pull up on my Facebook page and you all can edit and do the things you do.
Yeah, we can put it in.
And I'll shoot you.
And when I say we, I mean Jay. Yes. But yeah.
Now, like I say, it hit his door, but I was when I send you the picture, you'll have better context of what I'm saying. I got my Purple Heart because I got hit in that same incident he died in. It wasn't because of my gunshot wound. My gunshot wound happened in a training accident that happened in preparation to go to my third Iraq deployment. I got my Purple Heart on my fourth Iraq deployment. I just want to make that understood. Right? I don't want to make it like, oh, I'm this war hero. I don't feel that way. I had a job. I did my job. I got wounded in process of doing my job. I don't look at myself as some war hero. Okay.
So this missile, there's a number of these chews, right?
Right.
Okay. So it just hit y'all's? I mean, what?
It was during an indirect fire attack.
Okay.
Now, what I want people to understand about that time period in Iraq, this was 2011. This was during the drawdown. We're doing everything we can to minimize any kind of conflicts or anything like that because we're in the process of pulling out of Iraq.
Yeah.
Now, we get hit with indirect fire. We respond not with direct fire, but we respond with alarm rounds and things like that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's not very, we're going out killing the enemy.
Right.
It's, we're reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, I just want to put that out there. It was a different time. It wasn't my first 3 rotations where you see enemy, kill enemy, come back home, come back to the fire, lift weights, get on the internet.
So it's just you and his name again that dies?
Stephen L. Talamontes.
Okay.
Sergeant Tile, 40 cal Tile.
So so it's just you two in that?
No. This was where we lived. We were sleeping. Yeah, this was.
It was like a makeshift base.
Okay. So there was a bunch more people in there. Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Gary On was in. I can't. It's hard to remember where Gary On is. Anybody?
No.
It's in South Iraq near the Iran border. I want to say Al-Amara or Amara, Iraq. I can't remember the exact city in Iraq where Cos Gary On. COS Gary Owen. If you want to look it up, look it up.
Yeah.
But there was an indirect fire attack, like I said, 4:15 in the morning. At that time that we were in Iraq, you hear the indirect alarm going off. And the indirect alarm is your siren on your iPhone.
Okay.
You hear that? If you look up the settings, if you set an alarm on your iPhone, the siren, that's the sound.
Okay.
Sound.
Can't use it to this day. It's a very triggering sound. Before July 10th, 2011, you hear that sound and you're lackadaisical. You're not paying attention. But anytime you get indirect fire, you don't know where it's going to hit.
Yeah.
No, 9 times out of 10, it's, far away from you. You see it, it's not close to you. It doesn't affect you. So you're moseying to the bunker. You probably don't take cover, whatever. July 10th, however, alarm goes off. It's like I said, it's like 4:15 in the morning. You're not thinking. Hear the alarm. I come out my chew, hang a hard right going towards, and I'll send you this picture so you get visual context of what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So I come out my chew, I hit the hard right. I'm going to a bunker. I know to go to the bunker. I make that right. I get to a point, boom, everything goes great. And when the way I can describe it is, have you ever been on an airplane and you're going through a rain cloud that's gray and you look out the window how it's gray? Mm-hmm. That's how it was. Boom, it goes gray. I feel myself off the ground. Don't know if I was off the ground. Just whip. I feel like I've come up off the ground. Next thing I know, the thing I remember, I'm padding around the ground. I'm patting the rocks, like I'm looking for something on all fours. And I'm padding around looking for something. It's still great. Next thing I remember when I came on my chew, I was going to a bunker going this way. But the next thing I remember, my buddy, his name is, he was Specialist Freiberg at the time. I think he's maybe 7 by now. But Freiberg, he's carrying me, like this, going out the other way, going out to the other bunker.
Wow. Wow.
And so we make it to the bunker. And we're, the whole company, platoon, everybody's everybody can fit inside this bunker. And a bunker is not like this big building. It's like a concrete, like horseshoe, and it's long. It's like maybe 6-7 feet, and everybody's in there, and everybody got their gear on. They're huddled up.
Kind of like the way Jay made the studio right now. Yeah.
And we get to the bunker. I mean, now mind you, 4:15 I'm still sleeping. I have a do-rag on, PTs. I still got my PT shirt that's got the holes in it with the blood.
Oh, wow.
I didn't wash it. I still have it in my house.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I had my do-rag on, and there's somebody in the bunker with a flashlight. They're like, Sergeant Chinn's hit. Now I look down, and I got blood all over me, and I got a hole in my do-rag, and I got this, the scar and everything like that. And it's just like.
So you don't feel it at that point?
Oh, adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah. Okay.
You're looking.
I don't know I'm hit.
Yeah.
I don't know I'm hit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they flashed a flashlight on me, and I got holes here.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? I got the shirt. I'll bring it to you and show you. You know what I'm saying? I got holes,
Are you thinking I may be dying right now?
No, because I knew I wasn't dying.
It was pumped up.
I was pumped up. I'm like, the first thing, you're like, these dudes that gave me a purple one. What the? Let's go get these. Let's go. Mine up the tanks. Let's go. Let's go get them. It's it was just a funny feeling, but then everybody we're doing
roll call.
Exactly, roll call, and everybody we say we're Sergeant Tao.
Mm-hmm.
He's not there, and.
So everybody should be in the bunker at this
Everybody
point.
should be in the bunker. Okay. Or a bunker. Now we have like mini radios where we're able to call around, keep calls and things like that. But we're doing roll call, and Tal isn't, we don't have accountability. So at that point, everybody leaves the bunker. Alarm's still going off. Incoming. We don't know if things are still coming in or not, but we know we got to go we got to go check on Tal. And when we went to go check on Tal, that's when I see that where he lived and where I lived, I got to pull it up. Where he lived and I lived was
gone.
Well, his was. Mine was.
Okay.
It didn't hit mine. It hit his front door.
Okay.
But that's when we realized he was gone. And at that point, I'm just like, yeah. And at this, they're like, no, Sergeant Chinn, you got to get medevac. You're bleeding. And I got pieces of shrapnel, I still have shrapnel in I still have shrapnel down the left side of my body from the explosion.
So how many were injured in this?
Tal died. Lieutenant Nikit, I can't remember Lieutenant Nikit's first name for some reason. He got brain injury. My gunner, he stayed in the troop behind me, Sherman Martin. He received TBI brain injuries. I don't know if they were or awarded their Purple Hearts or anything like that, but they were injured as well.
Yeah.
But
You can just submit it to him.
I will.
So is that the extent of those that were killed or injured in that incident? Yeah.
Golly.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And that you went to bed that night, just another night.
When I met him, he would sleep with his shoes on.
Really?
After that night.
After July 10th.
Sorry. After that night, they did not sleep without clothes and shoes because they wanted to be able to get up and run to the bunker really
Wow. Wow.
So
yeah, that's what. Wow. Yeah, from July 10th, 2011 until I left that rotation, I didn't sleep on the covers, and I slept with my shoes on.
Yeah.
Just because when I got hit, I was barefoot.
Yeah.
And the rocks hurt.
Yes. So after all this, you've been shot, or not shot, you got damage, you got shrapnel, you have it in your head, but you just said the rocks hurt your feet. After all that, it's the rocks that you're going to mention, which I'm with you because I hate it too. I really do.
When that translates to what you're going through now, does that It's nothing.
This is
Yeah.
Nobody can hurt you. Your family's here. You got your health. Your family's got their health.
I don't worry about taking care of my family.
Yeah.
You say people like they can record, they can surveil. When you live in truth and you know you're not doing nothing wrong, I'm not worried about somebody going through my trash.
We didn't talk about
I'm just saying, I don't worry about it.
We can't.
We could talk about the things that we go.
Do you feel like people are watching you?
I could care less if they are. Watch all you want. We're not doing anything wrong. We stand on truth. A man's word is his bond.
That's a good feeling when you know that.
When you know you're truthful, when you know you're telling the truth, you can do things. You can move a certain kind of way. It's only when you're not telling the truth that you have to worry about people doing things.
Yeah. Yep.
I do want to highlight something. He was talking about being surveilled and going through the trash. So recently, since the recall has started, one morning, 4 a.m., I woke up to hearing my phone go off, and it's my Ring doorbell, and it's just going off. So I wake up and I look at it, and I see somebody outside with a flashlight in my trash. And so I wake him up, and he goes to grab his gun. I was like, no, don't grab the gun. Like, just go out there and check on it. And so he walks outside, and some man, white male, clean cut, in his early 30s, driving a decent, nice dark colored SUV, is digging through the trash, and he's pretending to grab these dirty sheets that have like kitty litter all over them and nasty stuff. So we
Joke's on him.
We caught him in the act of searching for something. Is probably, we don't know what that was. We don't know who exactly is so concerned with.
You never found out who this was?
Nope. No.
Wow.
To my knowledge, Wood Creek doesn't have very many homeless people that are clean cut driving nice SUVs. So it is weird. I don't know who it was, and I don't know why they were there, but absolutely going through my trash.
How are y'all's kids doing? What do they know?
Unfortunately, they know a lot because they watch on YouTube all the city council meetings. And, there have been comments that have been made about both me and my husband. And we've had to have some really tough conversations based on some of the comments that have been made about us at these city council meetings. And, they're not happy. Like before I came today, I was really anxious because and it's not that you guys are intimidating. It's just kind of the situation that I'm in. It is a scary situation. It's really intense. So I was having, a little bit of anxiety today, and both my two younger kids came up to me before we got here, and they prayed over me. And, my middle son, the one that you thought was cool,
I like how she's like, you thought he was cool. Yeah.
He's gonna love
bad guy.
He's gonna love this part. He's totally self-aware. But
I thought he was the cool guy.
Well,
He was. No.
Yeah. The band guy thought he was the cool guy. Yeah.
yes, I love Kyron. He's my sweet baby. And he and my daughter Aria came up to me and they wrapped their arms around me, and he just prayed for peace and calm and protection. And it's kind of, they have really been through a lot, but they've also really surprised me at who they are and
Gotta make them
how
strong.
they've matured throughout this situation. And they kind of look at it like, you know what, it's okay if everybody doesn't like my mom. I like my mom.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, man, thank y'all for coming and doing this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. This has been eye-opening, and you hate hearing it. And like I said, we'll have Andrew Greenberg on, and he will give his side. And there's a lot of questions.
The bottom line about this is the truth. You don't have to remember the truth.
Right.
You don't have to remember the truth.
Yeah.
You just stand on the truth.
Right.
If you keep asking questions long enough when somebody is lying,
Yeah.
And the way that you make a liar mad is keep asking questions.
Right.
That's how you make a liar mad.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I've learned that on Dateline. I'm a big Dateline guy. And Dateline, every cop says that. They say, well, we know he's lying. We just keep asking the same question. And then when it keeps changing and all that, they can't keep up with the lie.
Like I say, you never have to remember the truth.
No, you never. Yeah.
You never have to remember the truth.
Right.
And the way you make a liar mad is by keep asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I make it through this.
Right.
Because I know the truth. I know the truth is on our side.
Yeah.
And if you can hate us all you want, what people's opinion about me or people's opinion about my wife, that's none of my business. You think what you want to think, but we know the truth. And when the truth comes out and everybody sees the truth, then we can see how everything plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am praying for you, your family, and the whole city of Fate.
Mm-hmm. This is a tough thing for the city. We hadn't mentioned that. Yeah. Yeah. The community going through this when it doesn't seem like, there's a legitimate reason for whatever you think. For whatever you think. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
so
tomorrow when he shows up, hopefully he does.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go that side and see what's going on. Yeah. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Absolutely.
And for Dalton sitting over there, all patient.
Shout out to Dalton.
Yeah. And again, Adam and Junior
Still holding the
wall. Jay spent thousands on this studio, and the wall still needs to be held up.
I didn't think about the rattling on the wall.
Who would have known?
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
See you guys next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hate me all you want, I don't care. I don't mess with two-faced hypocrites. I swear I'm gonna be me and stay busy working hard and living free. You can talk your talk behind my back. I ain't got time for that kind of act. I'd rather die standing tall than live on my knees.